In recent decades, humanity has witnessed technological advances that, until recently, seemed like science fiction. Artificial intelligence, AI, is the crown jewel of this transformation, capable of learning, adapting, and performing tasks that were once exclusively human. While for some this progress represents a bright future of comfort and efficiency, for others it signals a warning, the risk of massive job losses. Throughout history, technological revolutions have replaced certain jobs while creating others. The Industrial Revolution replaced artisans with machines, but also created opportunities in new sectors. The difference today is speed and scale. AI is not just replacing physical tasks, but also intellectual work. Machines are learning to diagnose diseases, write legal documents, create marketing strategies, and even produce works of art. In other words, AI is encroaching on areas previously considered untouchable. The implications are profound. Entire professions may become obsolete in a matter of years, leaving millions of workers without a clear transition path. Some studies estimate that by 2030, hundreds of millions of jobs could be automated. This is not just an economic issue, but a social and psychological one. The way we define identity, purpose, and belonging is deeply tied to work. This invisible revolution is already underway. And the question we must ask is not whether AI will transform the job market, but how, and whether society will be prepared for the consequences. Historical perspective, from Industrial Revolution to the age of AI. To understand the current situation, it is worth revisiting history. The first Industrial Revolution in the 18th century replaced manual labor with mechanized production. At the time, workers feared losing their jobs to machines, just as many fear AI today. However, mechanization also created new sectors and roles that had never existed before, such as factory management, engineering, and machine maintenance. The second and third industrial revolutions, driven by electricity, telecommunications, and computers, also reshaped the labor market. Jobs disappeared, but others emerged, from assembly lines to software development. The difference with AI lies in its adaptability. While previous technologies replaced repetitive tasks, AI can replace complex and creative roles. For example, in the legal sector, AI software can analyze thousands of documents in seconds, a job that would take a team of lawyers weeks. In healthcare, AI algorithms can detect diseases with higher accuracy than some experienced doctors. This new revolution is not just about tools, it's about cognitive autonomy. And unlike past industrial transformations, AI evolves at an exponential pace. While society took decades to adapt to the steam engine or electricity, AI can revolutionize an entire industry in just a few years. Sectors most at risk. Who could lose first? Some industries are particularly vulnerable to automation by AI. Customer service is one of the most obvious examples. Chatbots are now capable of resolving complex issues without human intervention. Financial services are also under threat, with AI capable of analyzing market trends and making investment decisions without emotional bias. In manufacturing, advanced robots can work 24/7 without fatigue, reducing the need for human labor. In transportation, the rise of autonomous vehicles threatens the jobs of millions of truck, taxi, and delivery drivers worldwide. Even creative industries are not safe. AI systems like ChatGPT or Midjourney can produce advertising campaigns, scripts, illustrations, and music in minutes. The most concerning aspect is that many of these changes occur without the public realizing it. You might be interacting with an AI in an online chat without knowing it. You might be reading news written by algorithms. And while some argue that AI will create new jobs, the reality is that these new roles often require advanced technical skills, inaccessible to many workers displaced by automation. Economic, social, and psychological impacts. The economic impact of mass unemployment could be devastating. If millions lose their jobs, consumption drops, tax revenues shrink, and social inequality worsens. Countries without a solid social protection system could face waves of poverty and social instability. On the social level, work is more than a source of income. It's a central part of identity. Unemployment on a massive scale can lead to a crisis of purpose and self-esteem, increasing rates of depression, anxiety, and even suicide. Communities dependent on specific industries could be devastated if those industries are automated overnight. Another layer of the problem is the psychological impact of being replaced by a machine. It's one thing to lose a job to a human competitor. It's another to be rendered obsolete by an algorithm. This can generate a deep sense of alienation and helplessness. Possible solutions and the future of work. Some solutions are being proposed to mitigate the effects of AI on employment. One is Universal Basic Income, UBI, which would provide all citizens with a fixed monthly payment to cover basic needs. Another is large-scale retraining programs, so workers can learn new skills relevant to the AI-driven economy. Governments could also tax companies that heavily automate their processes and use that revenue to fund social programs. Additionally, some experts suggest encouraging sectors where human work will remain indispensable, such as care, education, and certain forms of art. The future of work may involve greater collaboration between humans and AI, with machines taking over repetitive tasks and humans focusing on creativity, strategy, and empathy, areas where we still have an advantage. However, this will only be possible if society acts now, rather than waiting for the full impact of automation to hit.